Hey everybody, before we get into my video really quickly, I want to share something with you. God is truth. What is truth? Asked Pontius Pilate in John 18:38. He, the Roman governor over Judea at the time, obviously had no clue. What a tragedy that the truth was right in front of him, but he didn't recognize him. Neither did the Pharisees, with the exception of Nicodemus and Joseph. Neither did the crowd of Jewish people, except for a small group of Jesus's followers. Neither did the soldiers who crucified Jesus, except for the centurion. Neither did those who condemned to die with him, except the thief on the cross to his right. Neither do we. Every time we go against his will, we are proclaiming that I know better, that I know the truth. Jesus proclaimed to Thomas and to all of us, I am the way and the truth and the life. Everything about Jesus is the truth. How he taught, how he acted, how he talked, how he lived a life of holiness. How he taught, how he laughed, how he cried, how he suffered, how he died, how he conquered Satan, how he rose from the grave, and how he ascended back into heaven. Jesus is God, who not only spoke the truth, but also speaks truth to you today in his word. Oh, that we could ever live our lives like that. The truth lived his. Dear Jesus, we thank you for the truth of your life-giving death and resurrection. Amen. Nowhere in here does it say Candace Owens is the truth, is the way, is the life. Jesus is my all. Jesus is not just a character in a book, the subject of an interesting story, or a good person to emulate. He is not just a prophet of old. Jesus is the second person in the Trinity. He is the very Son of God. He is God in the flesh. He is my Savior, whose very purpose in life was to give up that life and die so that my sin is forgiven, so that your sin is forgiven, for that the sins of Candace Owens may be forgiven. All of us. For this, Jesus is my Lord, and apart from him, I can do no good thing. Jesus is also your Savior and your Lord. To think about going through life in this world without any reliable guidance or direction, without any clear understanding of what is truth, is beyond my comprehension. I want more than just an opportunity to wing it while hoping for the best outcome. I want clear direction and certainty, and I believe you want the same. I must honestly say that Jesus is everything to me. He is there with me when I get up in the morning. He is there with me when I lay my head down at night. He is there every hour of every day. Jesus is my hope, my peace, my treasure, my heart. Yes, Jesus is my all. He is the truth. If one of the fold goes astray, the shepherd immediately leaves the other sheep and hunts for the lost sheep until he finds it. When he finds it, he puts it on his shoulders and, rejoicing, brings it back to its proper place with the other sheep. Jesus is indeed our good shepherd, who rescues us when we go astray and carries us back to our place within the flock of God. He loves his sheep. He loves all of us. Now, let me read this passage, because this is kind of important. After this, the king's anger was pacified, and he no more mentioned Vashti, bearing in mind that what she had said and how he had condemned her. Then the servants of the king said, let chaste, beautiful young virgins be sought for the king. Let the king appoint local governors in all of the provinces of his kingdom, and let them select beautiful, chaste young ladies and bring them to the city of Susa into the women's apartment. Let them be co-signed to the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women. Then let things for purification and other needs be given to them. Let the woman who pleases the king be queen instead of the Vashti. This thing pleased the king, and he did so. Now there was a Jew in the city of Susa, and his name was Mordecai, the son of Jairus, son of Kish, of the tribe of Benjamin. He had been brought as a prisoner from Jerusalem to whom Nebuchadnezzar's king of Babylon had carried into captivity. He had a foster child, a daughter, his father's brother. Her name was Esther. When her parents died, he brought her up to womanhood as his own. This lady was beautiful, and because the king's ordinance was published, many ladies were gathered to the city of Susa under the hand of Hegai, and Esther was brought to Hegai, the keeper of the women. The lady pleased him, and she found favor in his sight. He hurried to give her things for purification, her portion, and the 7 maidens appointed her out of the palace. He treated her and the maidens well in the women's apartment, but Esther didn't reveal her family or her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her not to tell. But Mordecai used to walk every day by the women's court to see what would become of Esther. Now this was the time for a virgin to go into the king when she had completed 12 months. For so are the days of purification fulfilled, 6 months while they are anointing themselves with oil and myrrh, and 6 months with spices and women's purifications. And then the lady goes in to the king. The officer that he commands to do so will come in with him from the women's apartment to the king's chamber. She enters in the evening, and in the morning she departs to the second women's apartment, where Hegai, the king's chamberlain, is keeper of the women. She doesn't go to the king again unless she is called by name. And when the time is fulfilled for Esther, daughter of the brother of Mordecai's father, to go into the king, she neglected nothing, which the chamberlain, the woman's keeper, commanded. For Esther found grace in the sight of all who looked at her. So Esther went in to the king in the 12th month, which is Adar, in the 7th year of his reign. The king loved Esther, and she found favor beyond all other virgins. He put the queen's crown on her. The king made a banquet for all of his friends and great men for 7 days, and he highly celebrated the marriage of Esther, and he granted a remission of taxes to those who were under his dominion. Meanwhile, Mordecai served in the courtyard. Now Esther had not revealed her country, for so Mordecai commanded her to fear God and perform his commandments. As when she was with him, Esther did not change the manner of her life. 2 chamberlains of the king, the chiefs of the bodyguard, were grieved because Mordecai was promoted, and they sought to kill the king. And the matter was discovered by Mordecai, and he made it known to Esther. She had declared to the king the matter of the conspiracy, and the king examined the 2 chamberlains and hanged them. The king gave orders to make a note for a memorial in the royal library of the goodwill shown by Mordecai as a condemnation. So Milk Bar TV has done some content about Candace Owens, just really using her own actions, words, choices, and behaviors and her own content against her own content. And a lot of that is because of her ego, and it's because of her narcissism that people are able to take her own words and really put it against her own words. But this is really it's only 4 minutes long, but it's about her talking to and about Andrew Tate over the years. Which is weird because of the Romanian thing, considering that Erica Kirk had started a whole Romanian charity that had to do with little girls, and the whole Andrew Tate thing allegedly being a pimp and doing human trafficking.
Andrew Tate's story is interesting to me for a lot of reasons. The first is because of how I met Andrew Tate.
Long time.
I know, it's been a very long time.
Very long time.
Actually, I met you downstairs at the Ritz.
Correct.
George and I were engaged at the time.
Yeah.
Candace and I met in December of 2018, and we got engaged very quickly after 17 days.
As I was having this dinner with my husband and his friend, Andrew Tate was there. I had no idea who he was. This is kind of before he really took off on the internet. I had my assistant at the time with me, who happened to be Romanian. She's born in Romania, speaks Romanian, happened to have been in the United States. She spent a lot of the time that we were there talking to him, right? They were having a conversation. She comes over to me afterwards and she says, this guy, Andrew Tate, I think he's a pimp in Romania. I said, what? And she's like, no, I think he's like actually a pimp in Romania. How long ago was your webcam business?
Yeah, so I stopped having any involvement with it. I think 8 to 9 years ago I stopped.
Andrew Tate is not hiding exactly who Andrew Tate was.
I've had nothing to do with it for 10 or 11 years. It was a long time ago. It was at the early stages of the internet.
If you're a guy and you hold citizenship in America or in the United Kingdom and you decide to uproot to Romania, it's got to be because you can do a little more dodgy stuff in Romania, digging back 10 years. I don't know who could survive that litmus test. Again, if you found Candace 10 years ago and you asked me about pornography, okay, this is 10 years ago. The content from 10 years ago is coming into play where they're saying, well, look, they're conflating this now. So even though these charges are from, and I read the indictment again, 2021, look at what he said 10 years ago.
Everything from these old videos, old clips, my webcam company, things that happened 10 years ago have absolutely nothing to do with the criminal case. Absolutely zero. Anything you see from before 2021 has nothing to do with the case.
So I do want you to contextualize this video that has been circulating on the internet of you talking about the lover boy method. So we'll take a look at that right now.
Sure.
You cannot get a girl to work for you having So the recruitment process is the same as the PhD course. You message them on Instagram. The PhD course is my recruitment system. I don't mention webcam until after I've had sex with the girl. If you're on dates and you're trying to mention it and shit, it just doesn't work. It puts them off. I'd never do that. That's disgusting. I'm not a whore. It's just not gonna work. You continue as...
So he literally goes on to cite how he basically gaslights and manipulates women into being attracted to him, having sex with him, and then getting them to be complicit in working for his webcam by duping them into believing that they could be his girlfriend. Andrew Tate. Yeah. And now Candace Owens has said all kinds of things about him, and yet she's still friends with him to this day and defends him. So there's a lot of controversy there, and a lot of that is from the comments, because I've read so many comments in the last 2 months of the videos I've done breaking down some of the things that Candace has claimed or said in her content, and things that she has said over on X, things that, her actions, words, choices, and behaviors. And I've gone over a lot of it in content, but the one thing that keeps coming back up is Andrew Tate. And I thought that was funny that Milk Bar TV had done this really great 4-minute long little clip of showing Candace Owens saying really nasty things about Andrew Tate being a pimp and with Romanian ties. And now she's still friends with him because, he's friends with her husband, yada, yada, yada. It makes you wonder if there's something really more going on behind the scenes, or is this all orchestrated just to be very sensational on the internet for views? It's a great strategy to get views and to get your name out there and to get your podcast or your YouTube channel, your show out there. But like I said, good people, good, decent human beings just can't motion through life and operate that way, because that is very narcissistic to lie to audiences, to gaslight and manipulate and darvo audiences just so you're getting the ratings to therefore make the income that you need. Now, what did Jesus say about false believers? We all know about the false prophets. He said, beware of false prophets who come disguised as good shepherds, but are inwardly ravenous wolves. He said that they would be known by their fruits, the consequences of their actions and teachings, and that many would be led astray by false signs and wonders. So it is crucial to be discerning and to test the spirit. He says appearances can be deceiving because the false prophets often look righteous but are corrupt on the inside. They might perform great signs and wonders to deceive people into believing that they are the only truth, that they are the way, that they are the life. And that's just not true. Jesus explicitly commands his followers to beware of false prophets. Do not believe every spirit, but test them to see if they are actually from God. You cannot serve God and serve Jesus and serve money and serve greed. You just can't. You just cannot serve both of those at the same time. You can't. Look at their character and their actions. Judge them by their overall impact of their message and life, and not just what they have to say. But that's very important as well, too, what somebody actually says. But I also found that this was really, really funny. Candace Owens, of course, a lot of people have seen this one about her talking.
Just to be
feels a
clear,
little like-
people did land on the moon.
I don't know.
Okay, there we go.
I don't know.
I do know.
I just want to know why we didn't go back.
We did go back.
What?
She doesn't believe in dinosaurs. She doesn't believe that the earth is round. She doesn't believe that we went to... Okay, these are all just like typical conspiracy theories.
Did we go back? What year?
To the moon?
We people on the moon?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm asking
Now
a serious
who's ignorant?
question. When did we go? When did we go
We
back to
first
people walking
landed-
on the moon?
Oh.
69. Okay.
July 20th, 1969.
Yeah.
We went back like 10 more times.
Who went back? Who walked on the moon?
America. You know,
No, but like, what were the astronauts' names? Educate me. Why?
fuck remembers what the astronauts' names were.
It's a pretty big deal to walk on the moon.
The first guy, and then after that, yes.
Who else walked on it?
I
How
don't
many?
remember the name. Like another dozen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you? Okay. Another dozen humans walked on the moon.
Yes.
Besides Neil Armstrong, 11 other astronauts have walked on the moon. Buzz Aldrin, Pete Conrad, Alan Bean, Alan Shepard, Edgar Mitchell, David Scott, James Irwin, John Young, Charles Duke, Gene Cernan, and Harrison Schmitt. Apollo 11, Apollo 12, 14, 15, 16, and Apollo 17. And all of these moonwalks were NASA's Apollo programs, which took place between 1969, when the first happened, and 1972 for 3 years. It actually lists all of the missions and all of the astronauts besides Neil Armstrong. 12, an actual dozen astronauts have walked on the moon. That's what information has allegedly, it's been verified by NASA. So there's that. Candace Owens doesn't want people to know that information that isn't. I mean, of course, you remember the first person to walk on the moon. My mother was alive during that time. She was born in 1952. So in 1969, of course, she remembers that. And everybody remembers learning about that. And a lot of people that were not alive at the time, of course, are not going to remember 1969, 1970, 71, 72, that this happened. By a dozen astronauts have walked on the moon. And yet she's confronted with somebody telling her the truth, and she rebukes it, and she rejects it, and just, okay, whatever. Show me. Tell me the names. Not everybody has their phone right there while they're doing a show or a podcast to be able to just pull that information right up, or to just remember the information. We know that Candace Owens, much like Charlie Kirk, they were briefed on talking points before speeches, before shows, before podcasts. And they were very heavily influenced by other people on those talking points, on education. That's why you see a lot of, like, even Candace Owens has changed her views. Now, I don't put a whole lot of weight. Like, if somebody wants to change their views and they believe that their views don't really align with the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, and they change to another party, well, there's lots of other political parties that the majority, like, if you look at it, you say, 5 million people voted Republican, 5 million people voted Democrat. Well, where's the other 340 million American citizens? Like, where are they voting? It makes you kind of wonder. You do know that there's other parties, right? There's the Libertarian, the Green Party, there's the Union Party, there's all kinds of different parties. I mean, the state of California has like hundreds, if not thousands, of different little smaller political parties. And of course, you can look up the list of all those, but we're just stuck in a two-party system, and people are led to believe that that's it. But the old military motto, X them all and let God sort them out. Yeah, there's a reason why people believe in that motto. It's not literally because you want to harm other people. It's just a phrase. It's just a phrase that all politicians at that level are bad and corrupt, just like all people in Hollywood at that level are all bad and corrupt. People in the banking syndicates of the world at that level are all bad and corrupt. The people that run Wall Street in stocks, people that are not just millionaires but billionaires, they're all bad and corrupt. But of course, there's people like Candace Owens, who just says whatever sounds good at the time. I don't even know how much of her stuff actually is truthful, because yes, I have watched her content. As everybody who has followed me knows, I was a fan of hers. I watched her content often until September 10th of 2025. That really started making me pay closer attention to what she says. And I broke the code to how, and I've done whole videos breaking down how she uses psychological manipulation to make her audience keep coming back for more and more and more and more. But I want to show you this. This is my whole point of this video. Now, Milk Bar TV is the one that Candace Owens sent a copyright strike to, because really great point. That video, she did not anticipate anybody in her book club seeing any of her lives from her actual website, from her book club, people that pay, the $18.99 a month, whatever membership, and then the $9.99 a month book club fee. Okay. She didn't anticipate somebody capturing the live where she directly implicates that Donald Trump, the Trump administration, Israel assassinated Charlie Kirk, not Erica Kirk. She twisted that. She directly implicates Trump, the Trump administration, the feds, and Israel all working together to assassinate Charlie Kirk and giving him a holiday and a boulevard. They already did. They did. They gave him a boulevard all the way in Israel. And notice, it's always in the bad side of town. She goes on to talk about how she lost faith in Trump. She lost faith in the Trump administration. And Charlie Kirk, it makes her sad because Charlie Kirk gave so much of his life and his time to not just Trump, but to the Republican Party, the conservative movement, and that makes her so sad. She directly implies and implicates in that long run-on sentence that Trump, the Trump administration, worked with Israel and the United States federal agents, the FBI, all worked together to help take out Charlie Kirk. That's what she says. Now, Milk Bar TV, from my understanding, is the one that shared that little clip, and she gave him a copyright strike, even if it's under fair use and copyright law. No, she wanted it down. She was copyright striking people over on X that shared it. It says that due to the copyright owner, they have taken this clip down because she wants to claim it was Zionists. It was Christian Zionists paid to run a smear campaign. But as I showed you in my last video, Milk Bar TV said, no, look, Candace Owens even admits in her episode to giving him a copyright strike because he's the one who shared it and was talking about what she said in that clip. And then she, a month later, is trying to say that it was Christian Zionists. It wasn't. He admitted that he's the person that did that. So, but anyway, the whole point is Candace Owens had a website called Social Autopsy where she doxed people and doxed kids. And it was pretty profoundly serious. I want you to take a listen to this.
When they get out, they were fired. This company is referred to as Social Autopsy. And apparently they've already compiled a database of individuals online who harass people or bully people.
Words are real. People don't assign, like, there's no humanity behind what they say. They just think it's not real.
Words are
and
real.
What technology takes away from children, the fact that it is real. And you would never in a million years say those things to someone's face.
Candace Owens, aka Red Pill Black, is going to put my life in danger by doxing me. All because I typed mean words on the internet.
This entire controversy, people calling you out, originated from Tree of Logic, right? She was the first.
People were like, you're just jealous of Candace.
Things. It was never about doxing people. It was honestly, to me, jealousy.
But no, I'm not trying to get killed because I left policing, and in the process of being a police officer, I put two men in jail, federal penitentiary because of me, and they vowed, okay, through most of their time incarcerated, that when they get out, they will find me and they will kill me. They will rape me first and then they will kill me. So I think I have an interest in making sure my dox isn't out there.
It is Candace Owens, the founder of socialautopsy.com.
The first ever search database that compiles and allows the public to easily access the digital footprint of individuals and companies. These individuals are your teachers, doctors, neighbors, and business owners, and for the first time ever, you will be given the chance to run a real background check on them to see what these people represent behind closed doors.
What we want to do is clean up the internet so that we can make it a safer place.
As you know, that website is
sounds like Meghan Markle.
It docks any and everybody.
They want to censor everything on the
And
internet,
so I
including
wanted my
free
docs
speech.
off that site, but most of all, I wanted the site shut down because, like, I'm just against doxing.
Joining me today is a YouTuber who has done pretty much the scariest thing that one person can do. She has come out as conservative. Candace Owens, aka Red Pill Black.
Mike Cernovich gave her the name Red Pill Black because her real name, Candace Owens, was connected to the doxing site Social Autopsy and all of the things that she did back then.
Is the truth about our activism?
Especially with her blog.
What's up, everyone? My name is Candace Owens. I'm the CEO of Degree180.com.
Where she talked about how to get medication on the low, and how she talked about Trump and saying that he had a mushroom penis that's 2 inches tall, and that's the reason why he's unhinged. She was anti-Trump and very pro-Hillary.
I considered myself a Democrat and a liberal about a year and a half ago as Trump was kind of rising up.
But you didn't vote for Donald Trump, to be clear.
I did not.
I was watching Harmful Opinions video, and Harmful Opinions was really clowning us. When I say us, I'm talking about conservatives and right-wingers. He was like, oh, you know Candace Owens, the one that had a doxing site? Yeah, she's now under the moniker of Red Pill Black, and she's got the conservatives to fund that doxing site. So
she's playing a conservative. She's role-playing and cosplaying.
It's going to eventually come up. And I was like, what?
The unpublished site currently has about 20,000 profiles, but the creator's goal is to launch Kickstarter Denial Be Damned with 150,000.
The site wasn't live at this point, but you were shown how to kind of access it to see what information they had, and that's how you found it.
They just had they had a vulnerability in the security part of the website, and it was just easy to get in. And I followed the directions and I got in. First thing I did was look for my docs to see if I was on there. And I looked for it not thinking I was going to be on there. But then when I saw, I just can't even tell you, Nathan, like, I can laugh about it now, but I wasn't laughing at the time. I was horrified to see my docs, my full docs, and to see the pictures that were there. And these were different type of pictures. Like, there are certain pictures that I can see of myself and I know exactly where they came from. So I can see some pictures of myself and go, oh, that's when I was a dominatrix. Oh, that's when I was a bodybuilder. Oh, that's when I was in politics. Oh, that's when I was on my old channel. Oh, that's when I was in college. Oh, that's when I was a police officer. I know certain pictures. I can tell who should have them. These particular pictures were family pictures. These particular pictures are only pictures that my family members, my biological family members, who I don't deal with anymore. I haven't dealt with them since the late 90s. But there's some bad blood between me and them. And so my cousin put my entire, like my complete
So it's like revenge porn.
And she verified
anybody can put it on there.
And she's put it on this site.
Have someone that you'd like to add to our morgue? Submit them. Our database is continually grown by anonymous submissions from individuals like you.
If you have a problem with someone, or you want to get back at someone, or you just want to be vengeful like my cousin, all you have to do is log in anonymously, and then you're able to get into the website. But you can do it anonymously. You don't have to connect your Google account or sign in with an email and get validation. Anybody can log in, right? And what they want is they want the picture of the person that you're going to dox or put on the database. They want the legal name, but they also want aliases. So with me, she put my legal name, but she also put my birth name. And they want your address. They want you to put down your current job, so they can basically try to get you fired. They also, on the website, they want to know all the schools you went to, from elementary school to middle school to high school to graduate school. And if you also went to post-grad, they want that information. So every school, it was so much stuff, and it was the most, they want screenshots of what you said that was politically incorrect, all right, or that was triggering. So they want to see if you said something like Hitler did nothing wrong, or I don't want to deal with the 5013s, or, saying, or do the N-word tower. If you did any of that, they want to show that on your profile. And then they want to list every social media platform that you have. It is a thorough and full doxing.
What we are doing is figuratively lifting the masks up, so nobody can hide behind, Twitter handles or privatized profiles.
What was the threshold to even be on the site?
No, but anybody can do it. Anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it.
Even validated.
If somebody creates a fake Facebook profile pretending to be you, you've got a bigger problem than Social Autopsy, right? Your first problem is that someone has created a fake profile pretending to be you.
Did you have contact with her?
She blocked me when I asked her to take it down, that I have people killing me, and that my cousin, when I told her, I literally tweeted to her, I said, Candace, well, red pill black, but I called her, hey, listen, can you please don't launch this site, because it has my full docs on there, and I have 2 men looking to kill me as of today. So it's like, you're putting my life in danger.
Because she was a former cop.
When I told this to Candace, I said, hey,
she's the reason why 2 people were sentenced.
It's on your website. And I'm a former police officer. There's 2 men who are out now, okay? And they're looking to kill me. If they find me, because I changed my legal name, I changed my appearance, and I'm very tall. I can't do anything about that, right? I'm 6'3". So what am I gonna do? Cut off my legs? So and of course I grew, this is my hair, these are dreadlocks. So I grew my hair out, because it used to be permed. And I did everything I could, contact lenses, I did everything I could to change my appearance.
We exist as a clean archive of an individual's words only, from which employers, friends, and universities alike may draw their own conclusions.
This is saying that Social Autopsy is not responsible for anything that happens to the person that you dox. They are not responsible for any consequences that will result from the personal information that are placed on their website. Free and clear, okay? I was the only one on the right that knew everything for that site. I knew the ins and outs. I knew how it worked, when it started. I knew the backstory. I knew the current story.
An archive home for schools to look at this information and sift through it. Okay.
Blair White had nothing to do with me and what I was doing. Me and Blair are cool, but what I'm saying is that she picked Blair White on purpose, 1, because Blair's trans, but 2, she picked Blair because she knew Blair couldn't defend the site, because Blair didn't know much about the site. And even though I did my best to coach her before, it's way too much information for her to retain. She did bring some notes, if you see that debate between her and Candace on the Dave Rubin show. It was way too much when Candace would come out with, well, this is available and that is available, because one of Candace's defense is, oh my God, everything that's available on socialautopsy.com is available on Facebook, and that's a lie.
Just to be clear, all the site did was take in public information.
Public information. The information was right there. As you said, my website never docked a single person.
That's a lie. You know what I'm saying? My stuff, none of that information, including my name, including my picture, is available on Facebook. I've never, ever had.
Okay, so I skipped through a section of that because I really highly suggest everybody go watch this video in its entirety. It is bombshell. He even shows how Candace Owens never even apologized for doing this to people and children. Never. In fact, she did nothing but excuse that she had her heart in the right place. But you have to finish watching it in its entirety. Oh my goodness. What do you guys think about this? I did not know that Candace Owens had a whole doxing website. I did not know about this. Did they scrub this or something? And I mean, I've been following her since before, like during the COVID and stuff is when I really started becoming a fan. Of course, everybody knows I've left the cult of Candace Owens. That's when I started doing videos, really just going over certain things. And I've even still urged people to pray for her. But Candace Owens is a false prophet. And she's doing this under the guise of she's the only person with truth. And it's blasphemy. As you know, blasphemy by definition, by the literal definition, is anything that constitutes as disrespect or a disgrace to God, to anything that is holy. But I want to share this. Jesus' teachings and biblical texts address conspiracies, primarily by warning against them, urging followers to be discerning, and directing them to find truth and peace in God rather than in hidden knowledge. Jesus does not say that the truth lies with Candace Owens and that only Candace Owens should be worshipped or followed. In fact, that's not just blasphemy. That's taking it to a whole different level. It's not just blasphemy, it's apostasy. But I also want to say this. He warned that false prophets and false messiahs would rise and try to deceive people, including the elect. Scripture also advises against living in fear of conspiracies, as seen in Isaiah 8:12-13. Instead of getting caught up in them, one is to test everything, speak the truth, and live a peaceful life, while being aware of the deception. Deceitful dialogue. Scripture advises against engaging in gossip, vain talk, and empty dialogue, conspiracy theories that are unfounded, which can be associated directly with conspiracy theories. It says to focus on God, seek wisdom, avoid spreading falsehoods, and then to live peacefully. But what do you guys think about Candace Owens? What do you guys think about that entire website? What do you think about Milk Bar TV really showing her lies and contradictions about Andrew Tate, about the whole thing circling Romania? And it makes you wonder, what is with Romania? Why are all these conservative commentators that have a lot of followers or their own websites, why are they linked to Romania or charities in Romania? Why are they barred from going to Romania? What's going on with this whole pimp thing, with this human trafficking, this webcam stuff, and, manipulating girls into working for these cam websites? I mean, isn't that everything that's wrong? Like, pedophilia, pornography, all of it, isn't that against God? Isn't that against the very core foundation of most conservatives and their morals, values, and belief system? And that's funny because a lot of people keep bringing up Donald Trump. Donald Trump can call himself a Republican all day long. He can be registered with the Republican Party. He could have been the one that was put up for president and had a whole presidential campaign and, won the presidency. I don't believe in ever picking between the lesser of two evils. You have other options besides Republican and Democrat when it comes time to vote. I hope you guys realize that there are other political parties, and a lot of those other political parties may very well be in more alignment with your political views than Republican or Democrat. And just because Donald Trump's the head of the Republican Party doesn't mean that people just all of a sudden are going to just back what he says. That's foolish. That's dumb. That's like saying that you're a conservative, so you have to believe what Candace Owens says. Absolutely not. What she's doing is absolutely horrendous and atrocious. And, she can say whatever she wants in her content. I'm not saying anything about that. She literally can say whatever she wants in her content. My whole thing is urging people to really be careful. And that's just my whole point. Just really be careful what you're ingesting, what you are watching, what you are consuming, what you are believing. Because yes, there are a lot of bots, especially military bots, that are out here running a whole bunch of propaganda against people that speak the truth. Talking about Candace Owens and her own actions, words, choices, and behaviors. And it makes you wonder, because she's in the elite. She's a millionaire. Her husband's a millionaire. that they have that kind of money and power to actually have bots to keep her podcast and show in a top spot. It's crazy. I've never seen so many bots come out of nowhere to defend Candace Owens. And they're not even real accounts. They're fake accounts. They don't even have a picture. They're brand new. They just were made in 2024 or 2025. But I want you to hear this.
Let's talk about the Candace Owens of it all. Okay. I love her, and I really do feel like there's potentially truth to what she's saying.
This lady sounds drunk. Please excuse her.
Is there something nefarious going on?
Are you talking about Charlie's murder? So, I don't listen to Candace's show. But
she doesn't listen to Candace's show, clearly. Clearly.
I am 100% convinced that Charlie was killed by Tyler Robinson, a crazed leftist who murdered him because he didn't like Charlie's messaging on the trans issue. That is my firm belief after having talked to the people at Turning Point, the FBI, the security team that was on the ground, and many others. And I've come to that with a good faith basis, and I have nothing that would shake me from it. I don't begrudge anybody asking questions, and I understand the controversy around where she's gone with it. But I think it's really kind of a matter of your preference for your broadcaster. And
that's not a broadcaster.
Let's talk about the Candace.
Okay, so she doesn't want to police Candace Owens' content. Nobody wants to police Candace Owens, but she's very clearly not able to self-regulate and to be able to step back and realize that when it's not just a conspiracy surrounding what she says about Charlie Kirk's death, she's really implicating real people in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, people that he handpicked to work at Turning Point USA, people that were his friends, his personal pastor, and therefore directly his wife, who has taken over as CEO not that long after he, died. So it's not just this harmless conspiracy theory. She's really putting dangerous, very dangerous rhetoric out there. Now, I am not okay with anybody sending Candace Owens death threats at all. I am not okay with that whatsoever, but also she should take the appropriate steps if she really is telling the truth and she has seen verifiable actual evidence and proof that the president of France and his wife, who are suing her, by the way, that they ordered, paid for a hit on Candace Owens. Instead, she takes it to X. But I went over that in another video. I just don't understand. I don't understand. It's all a deflection. Everything Candace does is a deflection. That is her tactic. That is what she does. And if you can't see that, Lord help you. Lord help you and pray for you, because there's a lot of people out there that don't believe in Christianity, okay? And in Jesus Christ. There's a lot of people out there that have other beliefs, other religions. There's a lot of people out there who have none at all and don't care. And the truth, like I said, is always going to remain the truth. The truth is not shrouded in conspiracy. In fact, Jesus Christ, Jesus of Nazareth himself, was explicit that only he is the truth. Only he. And you are a false prophet if you try to make other people believe that you are the only truth. And that's exactly what we've seen Candace Owens do and say. And I think that resonates pretty powerful, those words. But I just want to leave it there. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. What do you think about her doxing? What do you think about her relationship with Andrew Tate? What do you think about the ties to Romania and the sex trafficking and the pornography and the webcam sites that are making people millionaires? What do you think about all of that? And what do you think about her recent content? Because yes, I've seen it all. Let me know down in the comment section. I love you all. Have a great night.